This is Frank Skinner. This is
Absolute Radio.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio with Emily Dean and Alan Cochrane. You can text the show on 81215. Follow the show on Twitter and Instagram at Frank on the Radio, or you can email the show via the Absolute Radio website.
I've had a terrible start to the day.
Oh no. Was ist los?
I've got a stain.
Oh yeah, I noticed the stain.
Yes, I know, you pointed it out.
Well, that's what friends are for.
Yeah.
What, in the whole room full of people to say you've got a stain?
They aren't people, they're staff.
That's the spirit.
But Frank, it's awful when it happens at, so early doors.
Yeah.
You have some big choices to make for the rest of the day.
But it was a white jumper is always...
don't.
It's always a risk.
Surprising that Emily's chosen to cover it with a high-vis vest, though, isn't it? I mean, I never expected that.
It's given me a bit of a headache, actually.
All I can say is,
It's
thank
all
heavens...
crushed up in a bag because she cycles here.
Thank
Yeah.
heavens for that tabard that I keep handy.
Oh, sorry, I got a little bit overexcited.
Why's that?
Life.
Okay.
Oh, life. Life. Oh, yes, it was April Fool's Day.
Oh.
Did you do any tricks?
Well, I like to do a trick on April Fool's Day. It's a tradition, and I am, I suppose, a professional fool to some extent.
Yeah.
And I gave it. It had a ramp this year's.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Because I went downstairs. My partner Kath and our 6-year-old child they were downstairs, and so I was coming down. And I was on the phone going, oh, wow, that's unbelievable. Into the dead phone, I mean, I didn't just arrive and do it. I arrived doing it. They, stage note, they are found.
Yes.
Yes, well, I was found in the midst of it. And I saw Ian Botham do it. I'm pretty sure I saw Ian Botham do it at Lord's once. Ian Botham walked across a crowded...
Oh, yeah.
What do they call it? Concourse.
Lovely use of concourse.
Yeah, and there was a lot of... obviously, there was plenty of cricket fans about. It was Lord's.
Yeah.
And biggest laugh I ever heard at Lord's, by the way, and can I say it was around the ground,
Yes.
away fans and home fans. Actually, they're probably all home fans.
Yeah.
It was England play Pakistan, and there was an announcement saying... Mr. Patel. Is there a Mr. Patel in the thing? And it got a massive laugh from everybody. Anyway, so it's okay. Don't have to look it up. It's fine. I've checked it.
So you came down the stairs.
Ian Botham was on the phone, and so no one spoke to him. And I was absolutely sure he wasn't on the phone.
Oh, yeah.
He wasn't speaking.
Yeah.
He was just walking with it. And again, no one talks uninterrupted to Ian Botham for that long.
No.
Anyway, so I got downstairs and I went, okay, I'll tell him, yeah. God. Well, keep me posted. Put the phone down. I said to Buzz, you're not going... You can get your uniform off. The school's on fire. And...
What is wrong with you?
So anyway, he burst into tears.
I couldn't imagine that happening, yeah.
And I thought, and I said, there's no one in, I said they got the guinea pigs, everything are out there. I don't even know if they've got guinea pigs.
Right.
I'd seen one on Fleabag, and it was just in my mind of an animal that might be in a school.
Uh-huh.
I said, all the drawings off the wall. I thought they were very efficient, these firemen. Took the drawings. Anyway, he said, I know it's not true. He said, it's April Fool's. And I wanted to do one. And I thought,
I can't think who that reminds me of.
Of course.
Yeah.
We've reached the stage now where I've got to...
Step aside.
I've got to be the fool.
You're
not
sharing the
fool.
bill, darling.
Yeah.
I've got to be the straight man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man. It was quite a moment.
Yeah.
I honestly thought he was really sad that the school was on fire, but no, it was a joke missed.
Oh.
I'll be ready next year.
Frank Skinner on
Absolute Radio.
I think
Yeah.
you have to listen to Belieber, because he did, just briefly, Frank, he did an April Fool's that backfired
Oh, yes.
this week.
Oh, did it? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Well, he had to apologise afterwards. I think it was going a little far having to apologise, but he put a photo, didn't he, Al, of
Didn't
his
see the photo. I saw some of the fallout.
pretending his wife was pregnant.
Okay.
And then I think when people said, "Oh, we don't believe you," he then posted he mocked up a photo of him in the hospital with her hooked up to an IV drip or something. He took it quite far. So people were being concerned.
But do you think he mocked it, or did he phone his PA?
Probably phoned his
Can you
PA.
mock up a photo of her?
But he's like you. He's a man more sinned against than sinning, because as he says, I'm a prankster.
Oh, there you go. I would
actually
never
said-
actually say that.
I know you wouldn't. He said, I am a prankster, and it was April Fool's. And then he says, you sometimes just don't know what will hurt someone's feelings.
But what was the
I think
objection?
he says,
to
I
it?
think with pranks, you sometimes have to roll that dice. Hashtag prankster, hashtag Dennis the Menace.
Oh,
Apparently, he got retweeted by Steve Peng.
can I say that won't be the Dennis the Menace that we think it is?
I was going to ask, how is he familiar with Dennis the Menace?
There's an American cartoon called Dennis the Menace, sort of
Oh, is there?
sandy-haired
Oh, I
kid.
hate him.
Oh.
Yeah,
I
and
don't like the sound.
I have sandy hair.
it'll be that.
No red and black jumper even.
Well, but why were people upset by just saying
Because
his wife
apparently
was
you shouldn't
pregnant?
joke about pregnancy.
Because, yeah.
Oh, you
Yet
shouldn't
another.
joke about this. Shouldn't joke
about
anyway.
that. Yeah. I tried a lie, and I can't even remember what the content of it was.
Yeah.
on
I
April
tried a lie
Fool's
and I
Day.
liked it.
Yeah. And I remember thinking, oh, it's April Fool's Day, I'd better have a crack at it. And I hadn't done any thinking about it in the run-up. So I just said a lie. But I was a bit mindful of that thing of it has to be something that people are pleased when you then take it away and like,
Yeah.
oh, good. Which the school burning down would be one of those, I think.
Not to all children.
I mean,
That's true,
or
yeah.
adults. I mean, I find
That's
it
true.
a bit disturbing.
And I said something, and I was in the hall, so sort of on the other side of a doorway. My son just from the other side of the door went, waffling, which
Oh.
apparently is like what the kids call lying.
Is that right?
Yeah, talking
Oh.
rubbish. You're waffling. So, I mean, it wasn't, I didn't even finish the sentence before it got shot down with...
See, I think of
Disbelief.
waffling as just sort of, chatting about.
Yeah.
All the words are changing. It's
Oh,
honestly, it's
I
like,
mean-
it's like being on. You know when the plates start moving in a earthquake. It's like that.
Oh,
It
yeah.
is.
The
All
one
words
are there
going.
something tonic plates? Tectonic.
plates.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That was the producer.
The trouble is, you
Don't
raised
let the accent fool you.
you raised the bar so high, Frank, with the Gokwan
Oh,
April
yeah, that was a
Fool's
good
prank.
year.
Which
That, you know-
regular readers, would you like to remind them what you did?
Well, I told my partner that I'd agreed to do a show in which Gokwan and I walked around northern towns, me in different avant-garde outfits, and it's called "Why Are You Wearing That?" And she got furious, said, "You're not the person I thought you were. I don't think we can carry on with our relationship." I don't know. I mean, it was what a bizarre incident, and I wouldn't have minded if hers had been a counter April Fool, but she was absolutely serious.
Is there a counter April Fool? Is that a strategy you've just invented?
I've just
or-
invented it this
That's
second.
great.
Hashtag prankster.
I did think that
Hashtag Dennis the Menace.
Steve McLaren
Oh, yeah.
was sacked by Queen's Park Rangers, the football manager, on Monday, and I wonder if there was one part of him
Wow.
when he got the phone call that thought, yeah, come on. Oh, I mean, it must have been. Hope springs eternal.
It's a good day to dump someone, isn't it? Or actually a very bad day to dump
Yeah.
someone.
Yeah, except because they might think, oh,
They'd say,
yeah.
oh, yeah, we're okay. You know.
Yeah.
Speaking of football, by the way, I don't know if you're familiar with match attacks.
Yes.
They're football cards, but
Are those ones Buzz likes?
yes, and Buzz, he lost his 100 Club limited edition Harry Kane card,
Oh, okay.
which was
Tell
a
me about it.
major thing.
You're going to beg for a replacement?
You do
No.
a shout out.
No, I'm not doing it. You know, I don't do that.
I know.
And so I was
Yet.
on my knees, looking under for the sofa for it. And he said, he tapped me on the shoulder and said, April Fool. So all was well. All was well.
Frank Skinner on on Absolute Radio.
My daughter has a good little prank that she does. I recently made dinner for the whole family. I thought it was going down very well, and halfway through hers, she pushed her plate away, put her knife and fork down, and went, "I don't like it, Dad." There was a tension because she bold to just push it away.
Oh yeah,
and she went, "I love it."
She's been drinking from Simon Cowell's cup.
Yes,
but I like the pushing away of the plate rather than just.
Man,
you need some prop work.
She went big. Respect.
Sadly, like any 7-year-old that has found a joke that works, she's then done it pretty much every hour for 3 weeks.
Let's not limit that to 7-year-olds.
I was saying.
Every time.
I mean, everything.
You know, Kath is like the most health food nutcase person, my partner. And every time this happens, maybe happens 6 or 7 times a year, she'll have something to eat in a restaurant and I'll say, "How's that?" And she says, "It's a bit oily." I always say, "It's only 1:45." Whatever time it is. And I will continue to say that. I need to be able to say it.
Respect.
Yeah, it's.
You were talking about Gok Kwan earlier, Frank, and your prank.
Yeah.
Hashtag
April
prankster.
Fool prank. Yeah.
We've had, you may recall last week, you very kindly brought in your copy of Reg Transfers.
Oh, yes, the Personalised Number Plates magazine.
Yeah. We've had Reg Transfers have sent through some of their previous covers.
Have they?
Yeah.
What, to us?
Yes. So we have Gok Kwan. I just thought I'd mention.
Let me guess. GOK1.
That was close.
Yes. God, Freud. Damn you, Freud. GOK1. Because he's got the unique situation of being able to say Gok1, and it's basically his whole name.
Gok1.
You okay, Faye?
Has he got that?
Well, as is often the case with the personalised number plate, there's been some compromises.
Oh, but his would have been so perfect. Gok1.
Isn't it near enough is a Reg?
But I think Reg Transfers perfectly illustrates that we don't live in a perfect world,
No, it
Frank.
does more than anything. Reg Transfers illustrates that.
We've gone for 82 Gok.
82.
And
was he born in 80? He can't
How
be.
old would that make him if he was born? He can't be. That's an old person talking.
It's impossible.
No.
If he was born in 82, that would make him 36.
But God willing, he will one day
I think-
be 82.
All right,
Like the broken clock.
point.
It will be correct at some
I hope
point.
he's not in that
You'll
sort of
find
car.
some reason for the 82, won't you?
Colleen Nolan.
Oh, yes.
The cover line is "I'm in the mood for a number plate."
Ah,
And do you want to know the number plate? Do you want to have a guess?
more than anything.
Have a punt.
COL33N. Colleen. but
Again, you're
with the
getting a
threes.
little
Oh, yeah.
towards the perfect world.
Yes, exactly.
I think you need to lower your bar a bit.
Oh, okay.
Okay? Something that's never
COLIN.
been said to me.
COLIN. Colin.
NOL 378H.
Now, you're more on the right line,
Yeah.
respect. What we've actually got is CNO14N. So I think is it Nolan? It's
C.
kind of
Nolan,
spelling it.
yeah.
C. Nolan.
C. Nolan.
The L and the 4, the I and the 4 making the L.
That's great. Some of them actually hit the rim. You know those ones that run around the rim of the basket before they fall down
Yes,
again?
yeah.
Some of the ones that none of them go in the basket, not since the good old days.
I'd just like to finish with the opera singer Russell Watson.
Finish with a song.
Yeah.
Can you imagine what his would be?
10 OR.
Oh. Is it?
Again, not in a perfect world.
Oh.
Close.
Almost, Frank.
cigar.
T3 NOR.
Oh, yeah, but that's
It's not bad. He's gone for the
Yeah.
closest to an E.
No, that's
Are you
pretty
impressed
good.
with that? Okay, well, let's leave it on a high then, rather than do Stacey
What
Solomon's.
I'd like to have got Placido Domingo and the other two, one of those each,
Oh, nice.
with just 10 of the same number plates, so that they had the 3.
Yeah,
don't-
we won't do Stacey Solomon.
I
Yeah.
know we talked about
What?
these
No,
last
go
week.
on. Do
Okay.
Stacey Solomon.
What do you think? I mean,
SS, not SS1.
oh no, don't, darling.
Oh no.
I'd really be careful with
Oh
that.
no, black sedan. SS1, we go faster lightning streaks. It's a mistake, Stacey. It's not you at all. No, I really don't know, I know, but... No, but, you know, God bless you. Sorry, carry on. What is her number plate?
It's not SS. fortunately.
Solemn 1.
Solemn 1.
Yeah.
Isn't that one of the options with a fortune-telling fish? No, it's SX10 bug. But it is a...
Oh, bog, because she was in the jungle.
Well, I thought that, but it's on the Volkswagen Beetle, which is like a... Is that called a love bug?
Lovely. I mean, nothing to do with her, but not, yeah.
What's SX10, Frank? Can you have a think about that, please?
Stacey...
Oh, Stace. Stexy. Oh, no.
Oh, no. Stexy.
What a link.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
I went to the zoo this week.
Felt like you were beginning a poem there.
Yes, I was going to... I must go down to the sea again. Sorry?
Before we finish, I just want to clear up very quickly. We are going to leave the personalised number plates, obviously, but quickly, someone has texted in, just because I like it when people do this, to point out... Actually tweeted us, for Taxi Joe, the Green Badger, has texted to say, is it Stacey Solomon is from Essex? SX. Essex.
Oh, I
10.
see.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
What's the 10?
I don't know.
That might be the postcode.
Okay. Lovely
Maybe.
work. Okay.
No, but that's true. Essex and bog.
Yeah.
Because she's in the jungle and she drives a Volkswagen
There's all sorts
Beetle.
going. Thank you,
Oh,
Taxi
man,
Joe.
no, it is the Swiss Army knife of the personalised number plate.
Meanwhile, over at the zoo,
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Well, I know. I think I've mentioned going to the zoo before on the show, and occasionally we get people say, "You monsters, zoos are evil prisons for animals."
I don't remember those, but if you
well,
want.
that was just the bears.
I did it when I was at the zoo. I occasionally have the "Are they happy here?" feeling, and then I did think, if somebody said to me, say if I lived in a particularly dangerous area of London, let's say, and somebody said to me, "We'll get you a place where danger is completely removed from your life,
Right.
and you get free of calm." And
Like the fact these people speak in abbreviations.
And-
but
I
yeah.
like the idea of a meerkat getting that phone call saying,
And,
we got free a com.
and all the food you can eat with care. We got diet nutritionists
Yeah,
making sure
you'll be
you get
looked
all,
after.
all the right stuff, and a few other people, of your ilk.
Ew.
I'd snatch their hand off.
Yeah.
You
Well,
can
they
keep,
do, some of these creatures.
Yeah,
That's
they
if you
might
get their
retract the
client.
offer if you do
Well,
that.
I'll tell you about that in a minute, because I think I've discovered the most horrible animal on the planet.
Uh-oh.
I think I have as well, but that's another story.
No, but honestly, I was thinking, well, they're pretty horrible, the hyenas and stuff like that.
Are they horrible?
I think, didn't they?
They're a good crowd,
They
though.
forced, didn't they?
They are a
force,
good crowd.
forced Simba into the
Oh, I can't believe what you
off
see
the
on
edge of
the
that
goggle box,
cliff
Frank.
thing.
Oh, all right.
So
David
so it
Attenborough
made me
thing.
feel better about the zoo. Is like, just think that when they said, we're going to lock you up and stuff, but there'll be no predators, people would say, yeah, I'll take it.
Lovely postcode, Regent's Park. Hello.
So we went to. It was just me and Boz went there, my child, and they had. They did talks at London Zoo. I gotta say, I'm a big fan of London Zoo. I think it's brilliant and great educational place. And they did talks, and they had a talk about the Komodo dragon.
Oh.
Now, first thing I learned, we have a thing on this programme, idiotic eureka moments,
Yeah.
when after years you suddenly get something. For my whole life, and that's a long time, I've called
God.
that creature the Kimono dragon.
Oh.
You haven't.
I honestly thought that's what it was
I thought
called.
from EastEnders.
I pictured it in a small silken dressing gown. I always thought of it maybe slightly too short. Embarrassingly short on the dragon. It's Komodo.
I know.
I didn't know that.
You've made a fool of yourself. there.
No. I mean, I think
Kimono dragon.
Komodo is if they did a portmanteau of Mark Commode and Simon Mayo, wouldn't that be Komodo?
If they got together.
I've been listening to Komodo.
Komodo dragon is the Irish branch of his family. Commode, I believe.
Is that right?
But so you don't. They're not.
Be a great name actually for an Irish act. Commode. So you've got the toilet humour. Oh, dragon.
Can I just give a point of order here because he won't be happy because I've met Mark Kermode.
Yeah.
And we're not allowed to say Commode. He doesn't like it.
No, well, actually, it's not about him. It's about the Komodo dragon.
Good point.
So what about
yes.
that? But we're going to have the fares has landed.
Okay.
As, I think that isn't that a Frederick Forsyth novel set in the Middle East. So it was the sequel to The Eagle, and it didn't do as well. I'll be straight with you. I'll come back up. You won't. It's the most horrible animal. It's official.
Frank Skinner.
Absolute Radio.
Now the Komodo dragon.
Oh,
Yes.
yes.
I'm just going to briefly run through. This is how it attacks its victims. First of all, it bites out their leg muscles so they can't run away.
Brilliant.
One.
Oh, it's devious.
Two, its saliva contains bacteria that even if they do get away, they'll be dead in 24 hours without medical assistance.
Also excellent.
It
a
also
strategy.
contains a non-coagulant, so the wound doesn't heal.
Excellent.
Yeah. And they're one of the few animals that happily eat rotten meat, and they also eat other Komodo dragons.
So
They
they're
don't eat
cannibals.
their
Their
cells.
children.
They're cannibalistic.
Children, they let their own children.
That's not on.
And also sometimes they'll dig into graveyards and eat the dead. They eat the dead, the KDs.
They are great, aren't they?
Nobody's perfect.
Officially the worst animals of all.
Why have they not been cartoonified and humanised
exactly.
in superhero form?
Exactly.
Why have we got a Spider-Man when we haven't got Komodo Dragon Man?
All
of
a
them.
bad guy. There should be a bad guy called the Komodo dragon.
I know that, and I was trying to remember.
In a kimono. And wouldn't it be great if you had a villain and he'd misheard it all those years as well? And he turned up, I am Kimono Dragon. And Spider-Man says, look, I know this might not be relevant in the midst of conflict. It's Komodo. No, I think you'll find it's Komodo. Let's Google it.
I was remembering Billy Bob Thornton, Frank. He has a real obsession with the Kimono Dragon.
Does he?
Does
With the KD.
I saw him
And you
live,
checked
you
it?
Billy Bob Thornton. I saw his band.
How was it?
Well, I didn't watch the whole gig, let's put it that way.
Okay. But he's long talked about them, and he described them as the
right?
most evil animal that's ever walked the planet. And they should be destroyed. I mean,
Peas in a pod, are you? And
I'm not saying they should be destroyed, but...
he's once said, I have a dragon to slay in my soul.
yeah.
Of them.
Poor old Angelina, that turned
And it
bad.
says
for.
Komodo dragons represent it. More than anything on the earth, more than any being that exists, they are the creatures that represent evil. I have nightmares. One night I woke my wife in the middle of the night because I thought they were all over our house and we had to stay in a hotel. I'm having a problem talking about them even now, he says.
Do you think?
Well, shut up, Billy.
Do you think anybody has said to him, "Are you eating a lot of cheese at night?"
And also, do you imagine for 1 second that it was the interviewer that brought them up? No way. He's saying, so how's it going? I had this nightmare the other night with the Komodo. Oh, I thought it was kimono. No!
They're not nice, though, Frank.
They're horrible. I'm sorry, they're horrible.
Can I
I love
say,
them.
we've had some of our readers...
Well, I've got the fares, and
Okay.
I've heard
Okay.
that the producer's been getting told
Do you get in
off.
trouble? Are
Told
we in
off for
trouble?
long.
Are we a little bit naughty?
Can I say one little thing about the producer, by the way?
Yeah.
I don't want to sap anyone's morale.
Oh, yeah.
But I just went to look out the window while you two were talking. I accidentally looked down at the producer's show notes.
Uh-oh.
And the first thing I read was, terrible start. Oh, good.
This is Frank Skinner. This is
Absolute Radio.
Can I give you another nature fact which I learned at the zoo?
My nose has just started to run.
Sorry to hear that.
Oh, so I heard.
Bars, my child, got to stroke a cockroach at the zoo, and the blokes
You really spoil him, don't you?
yeah, and apparently it felt like fingernails.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, I can see that.
Yeah.
And anyway, the bloke said, "Has anyone got any questions?" And I said, "Can I ask a question?" And he said, "Yes." And I said, "Is it true? Now you must have heard this. Is it true that if there's a nuclear war, the cockroaches are the only things that would remain?" Have you heard that, Sam?
Yes.
I've heard that and the GC are the only things that will...
Gemma Collins?
Yeah, they will outlive us all.
Oh, wow.
All right.
How will she breed?
Well, that's one of the great questions.
Oh, you don't think...
8, 12, 15.
If we come back 100 years later, there'll be a strange hybrid of
Cockroach,
female
GC.
and cockroach.
And a bit of-
giant
A
cockroach.
bit of Komodo thrown in there.
So that'll last, probably. No, so it isn't true. That's what the man said.
Really? What did he say?
He said
urban myth.
He said they can take higher levels of radiation than human beings, but not that kind of
This
level.
should be on breaking news,
I know.
surely.
I thought
Yeah.
that was an absolute...
It's
I mean, I was upset.
it's shocking. You're upset.
But I
Well,
tell you
you're
what
gonna-
cheered me up. Have you ever
Frank's
seen...
invested heavily in the cockroach's future.
He bought shares in them.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen...
Well, as a landlord.
Have you ever seen a red-faced black spider monkey?
Don't think so.
No, I don't believe so.
So, Garen, go to them.
Really?
Never mind buying that UHD telly you were thinking about. Go and have a look at the red-faced
Love
black
those
spider
monkeys.
monkey.
You
sound
see, the
good.
thing
You'd
is,
wouldn't think they'd be so agile with all those adjectives they have to... They're way
Carry
down.
well, the
Oh,
big
yeah.
monkeys get a lot of press, but
Yeah.
I think the smaller, more lithe monkeys, the dainty monkeys, are they really...
Like Ross from
They do-
Friends.
Yeah, they
When he had
deliver.
a monkey.
I'll tell you what, this one...
really
it's
deliver.
like less attractive people that they tried a bit harder
Oh.
than the chimpanzees.
Well, that's
and
it.
stuff.
We've worked on our personalities.
Yeah, I'm not allowing you to put yourself in with the red-faced black spider monkeys.
No.
But yeah, they were. I'd recommend
Frank, John Round has been in touch,
them. Okay.
and he doesn't agree with you about the KD, the Komodo dragon.
Really?
He says silk dragons, note the name change, are very much...
Are they called?
Branding expert.
Hold
is he?
on. He's not thinking kimono here, is he? Is he
He's-
another one of us that thought it was kimono?
Well, I don't know. He's rebranded them anyway.
Okay.
Silk dragons are very much maligned and misunderstood and smuggled.
Smuggled.
Maligned and misunderstood. It sounds like Catcher in the Rye.
Yeah. Smuggled. He loses the generalised
Yeah.
thing.
Well, I think what he's saying is that the Indonesian government, apparently, this came off a story that they've had to close Komodo Island. Yes, there's an island. Can you imagine living there?
Komodo Island. I think that's in Ninjago, isn't it? Masters of Spinjitzu. You ever seen that, Al?
I've seen it.
You should be in it.
Says you will. It says they've had to close temporarily Komodo Island to tourists in
Because
Indonesia.
of smuggling.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine saying, "Kath, I've got a surprise holiday, Komodo Island."
Who's going to go to Komodo Island? That's
I would.
terrifying. You'd go.
I'd be up for it, yeah.
I wouldn't go
Would
there.
you?
Yeah.
I'd
You
go.
like a bit of coagulation.
I'm
If I was-
interested in the KDs.
If
since
I was
you've
given
mentioned
a
them.
hospitality backpack flamethrower, I'd go. Otherwise, no way, Jose.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Do you remember I told you guys about... well, we were talking, weren't we, about... you get free things sometimes if you work at a radio station. So every month, for example, I get Mojo magazine and Q magazine, and
Yeah.
sometimes you get what do we get? Sweets,
Yeah.
I got sent some water.
water. You get, but the last thing was,
Guinness Book of Records, I think.
Ah, yes.
Got a few of those over the years.
God, I was heartbroken this year. I bought one and then I got sent a free one. I mean, it's
Got
We
it.
The
got-
worst of all possible
I
worlds.
sometimes get a portrait of my dog Ray. I got that recently, a lovely
Did
one.
you?
Yeah.
Well,
I'm
anyway,
using a mechanical pencil that a man who makes mechanical pencils sent the show.
well,
Oh, yeah,
today,
lovely.
actually, I was.
Very
Is that
nice.
Hemingway?
Have I got
Really
the letter?
nice.
I think it might be. We've got one of our readers is called Hemingway.
I got a letter today from
Herr Hitler.
Josh, and he sent me his new CD actually.
Oh, did he?
Yeah. Which he tells me the first song on it, which is called Mike Stone Must Die,
Yeah.
which is the thing that Elvis used to shout about his estranged wife's
Oh,
boyfriend.
Mike Stone, I believe, had an affair with Priscilla Presley.
Indeed.
Is he the karate instructor, Frank?
That's right, yeah.
Thank you.
So anyway, that's the first, and he reckons that was inspired by me telling that story, which obviously makes me slightly proud. But as by way of a thank you, he's fabulously sent me a Star Wars toy, not a tie. I wouldn't wear.
So
I
much
wouldn't
to
wear
work on in that sentence.
A Star
Wars toy.
a Star
No,
Wars
Alf,
toy.
Star Wars.
Yeah, I
Alf,
can't do it.
Star Wars.
But the brilliant thing is, he sent me Moroff, which is that big
What's
hairy
that?
thing from Rogue One. I mean,
Right.
so it's not like Luke Skywalker or something. He sent me a
What's it? The sort of
fabulously obscure.
Komodo, the KD of the franchise.
He's a
It's,
supporting player.
it's a scary creature.
Brilliant.
And he also sent me a book on Athelstan, which is an Anglo-Saxon thing. It really is perfect.
You know what?
That
And
is
his new
nice.
CD.
Don't take this the wrong way. Fill in the blanks. But I think it could be a nice. I think you need people like that in your life with
Yeah.
similar interests.
Exactly. Well, I mean, I think
Frank
he's...
had a heart-in-mouth moment where he thought the book was about atheism.
I
and
thought
then
it was
turned
called
out to be
atheism.
Athelstan.
And I said, I'll have a look at it. They might have something to say for themselves. But anyway, it turned out to be Athelstan. And I was
Even better.
telling you recently that the latest in a long line of freebies was that Absolute Radio gave us free salt.
That's true, yeah. It was good.
So we'd arrived in
Good
the
times.
morning at Golden Square, and there's a counter downstairs with a security guard sitting behind it. And there was a little display box of tiny little boxes of salt.
Oh my God, is that what it was?
And I've heard this morning. Yes. Oh,
God.
no.
What a
I
mistake to make.
So I thought it was eye drops. No. So get this. There was 5,000. That's what we were saying.
Yeah, yeah.
5,000 little boxes of salt.
Biblical, this
There's
tale.
only 100 left.
Yeah.
Now,
Where's it
I read this week that the biggest cause of premature death is too much salt in the diet. I think that we at Absolute Radio might look back on this. You remember Bikini Atoll when people went to those nuclear bomb tests and for years, 10 years later they all died. I think this is what we're going to look back on. This is the Bikini Atoll of commercial radio.
Frank Skinner,
Frank Skinner.
Absolute Radio.
If you want a pint.
It's water.
Okay. Can you imagine how I felt looking up then? I thought, hi, Frank.
Sorry about
It's
that.
like a radio play.
Radio Law.
Yeah,
Martin.
what is it that they do? What's it called? The sound effects thing.
Yes, there's a name for it. If anyone
Oh.
knows, text in on 81215.
Faye
Faye
knows.
knows.
Phony.
What is it?
Phony.
Look, even I
Foley.
don't know. That was
No,
so
that's
posh,
right.
even I didn't get it.
It is Foley, yeah.
Okay, Foley.
So they do Foley. So the blokes with the coconut nuts.
Oh,
doing
right, yeah.
Coconut,
Go on.
Coconut nuts.
Do your drinking now.
The shells.
We'll
So,
do-
would you like a drink, darling? Yes, I will. Oh. You have to, apparently, I think it's a snooker ball in a glass is what they do for ice in glass, because ice in glass doesn't sound as much like ice in glass as you'd expect it to.
Oh, is that right? It's like in the photo shoots for food when they use the mashed potato for ice cream.
Is that right?
Because ice cream melts, obviously, under the lights. Do you see,
Of
dear?
course it does.
So you do the
Wow.
mashed potato.
Well, that's
Is
my
it good?
mouth.
That's it.
Would you like to hear about Komodo Island?
Yes.
I know
I
that you would.
I would, yeah.
Well, James has been there.
No way.
We
I feel we need some background music.
Okay,
for this.
can I like the Komodo music?
Here we go.
Just to clarify.
Okay.
You begin.
Hi, Frank. I've been to Komodo Island. We spent 2 hours trekking, looking for dragons with no luck. In the end, we found 4 scavenging the bins around the back of the visitor centre cafe.
Well, like I
That's
say,
from James.
They love like rotten, horrible stuff. They come.
Oh, we should get along fine.
Are people safe though on Komodo Island?
Well, I think I told you there were 5,700 Kermode dragons,
Oh, yeah.
and that seems an awful lot to me.
It does,
in a
yeah.
confined space.
Well, an island, surely, is the
Depends.
definition of a confined space.
Depends on how big, though, surely. There must be some big islands.
Does
We're on one.
does every species have an island named after it? Is that how you? Because I've been to Kangaroo Island.
Right?
Oh,
Is there lots of these? Isle of Man, of course.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I imagine
ours.
that was first. We
yeah.
made that one
is
first.
there a bear island? There must be.
There's Bear Mountain,
Oh,
certainly.
lovely.
Oh, maybe
No,
they
but
just
let's
didn't
stick
get
to
in
the
on that.
island.
Okay, yeah.
There
Keep
must
it
be a
island,
bear.
people.
There's a Bear Island off the coast.
What about
of
Dog Island? They didn't get it.
Isle of Dogs.
Frank.
Yeah.
And that's a lovely picturesque island.
Gorilla.
904 has texted, if the photo hasn't delivered, this text is massively disappointing. The photo hasn't delivered on this text.
I wonder what it was.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, we could just imagine that it is Bear Island or...
I'm guessing it's a Komodo burrowing into a cemetery.
Yeah.
We'll put it on our
That's what we
Instagram
wanted.
thing. Put a bit of music over it. Be fine.
Frank Skinner. Frank Skinner.
Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
We've had some animal islands. There's a Puffin Island in North Wales.
Oh, I think I've heard of that one.
Okay.
Is there a Baffin as well?
A what?
Baffin Island.
Baffin Island. Is
Yeah.
that
I think
an
you've got to take
animal?
a shower,
I
love.
don't know if it's an animal. I'm starting the other way around.
Right.
Start with the animal.
Start with the island.
Canary Islands, bizarrely not
Oh, of
named
course,
after
yeah.
the
Oh,
coal
yeah.
mine doomed yellow feathered creature.
A nice description.
Love this person, and it's Gregor and Lewisham. But dogs, canines, that is all.
Is that right?
What, canary canines?
Gregor never really gets it wrong.
Really?
Well, goodness me, we've had some fabulous natural history news today.
Yeah.
Well, except for the existence of Komodo Island.
No, I'd never go there because I'd be too terrified, but I'm glad it exists.
Are you?
Apparently there's over 100 tourists killed there every year.
No.
No,
April
I'm
Fool,
guessing.
you're waffling.
I'm
That's
guessing.
what
I'm
you're doing.
just
You're
guessing.
waffling.
I'm-
mate.
Hashtag Dennis the Menace.
Hashtag waffling, prankster.
I saw an ant. I saw an ant at the zoo. It's the biggest ant I've ever seen.
How
in
much
my
did you
life.
pay to get in?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Actually,
I don't know how to break this.
I just looked out into the zoo from above. It's a very small zoo.
What you got in this zoo? Ants.
No, but there was ants. There's in the bog
wow.
in the bog section at London Zoo.
Oh, I'd never go in there.
Oh, it's great. And there's spiders just hanging from the ceiling,
Oh, quite.
unrestrained.
Producer just flinched. Like,
Can I be honest, Frank? We've
Properly.
talked about this before, but that night section, that's a cop-out, isn't it? That smells of sandwiches and children's trainers, and it's always when it's
sounds like
raining.
my house.
No, but I'll tell you.
Maybe my house is the night section of a
They,
zoo.
they have an exhibition. You know those ants that carry leaves? We've all seen it. They carry
Oh, yeah.
leaves above their heads.
I
Oh, yeah.
love those ants.
So they're walking down this twig, carrying little bits of leaf. I say little bits, but it's like me carrying one the size of a
car or
of a
something.
skyscraper,
Yeah.
probably.
Oh, all right.
And there's a big ant.
That's,
More like
I
Lukaku,
went
maybe.
too small with a car.
There's a big
Frank
ant.
wants us to carry a skyscraper.
Biggest ant. What's happened? The skyscraper, a word that hasn't been used for about 30 years. But there's a big ant coming up the other way, and I mean really a big ant.
Right.
I don't know. I had the cheek to call myself an ant. It was so big.
Was he a big unit?
And I noticed when these little ants come down with the leaves, the big ant got out the way and let them go past.
right.
as a
how
respect
considerate.
because it was carrying something.
Right.
Even in the ant world, the sort of manners you don't often see in our world anymore. Just thought, I imagine there was some sort of ant communication which was equal to incoming, and it went underneath and let the leaf
nice.
carriers
They have
go
their
back.
own sort of to me, to you
Yeah.
thing going on.
I believe
do.
they have their own version of the 3-lane motorway system, actually. You know, like when you pull over for a wide...
Well, this one I think wouldn't have been allowed. The big one wouldn't have
Right.
been allowed in the two outside lanes.
Well, they have the
I
society.
think it had other ants as outriders on it. It was so
They're
big.
so diligent and they've got a great work ethic. The ants.
It was actually called Dillinge Ant.
This is Frank Skinner. This is
Absolute Radio.
We've had a text in. We've been discussing islands named after animals.
yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah.
And
that old radio
Yeah.
trope.
506 has texted, "Morning, Frank and friends. For the last few months, my boyfriend has been telling me there's a Wallaby Island somewhere in the middle of a loch in Scotland. I don't believe him. I haven't checked, but pretty sure he's guilty of nothing more than a lame attempt at creating one of those urban myths you hear about." I like the way that's been phrased
It's
a
an
lot.
interesting urban myth is arrived at. I'll invent an island called Wallaby Island in a loch.
Perhaps you can shed some light on this for me. Yours in anticipation of satisfaction. So much mystery. Not even the full name, just
Yeah.
He's having a laugh.
I think it's a she.
He's having you on,
Maybe
love.
it's not. I don't
No, I
know.
Most
mean,
people-
he's having,
most
he's
people
having
would have,
her on, the boyfriend.
Yes.
Okay.
A lot of people would have Googled this.
Yes.
Are you saying that to Alan?
I respect her. I respect her for not doing that. Of course, we've become so reliant on Google that
True.
when it's hacked out of existence by the Ruskies, we'll be in big trouble. Can you still say Ruskies?
Well, we'll
Don't
soon
know.
find out, won't we?
Yeah, I probably it's
do
all right.
you?
Oh, the internet's crashed. Is that connected?
Oh, no. Sorry, guys. And it comes back on again.
I don't want to go on about KDs or morning. However, I just have a final story I have to share
This
with you.
is the Komodo dragons for those who's just joined us.
Yeah, again, from John Round, who seems
John
to be
Round.
turning into our sort of Komodo editor at large.
Our Komodo correspondent.
Yeah, he has sent over a link regarding someone found a Komodo in their hotel bathroom. It was a Planet Earth cameraman. I mean, it's horrific, this picture. It's crouching by the toilet.
Oh, I thought you meant the bathroom was horrific. I was thinking, what was it, a shower curtain that you don't like? Or
Well, it was 2-star. But it's hideous. There were locals trying to coax it out of the house with pieces of rotten meat. Its
not
favourite
often-
food.
It's not often you get a hotel room with a toilet and a Komodo. So what happened? How did it
Well, the
end up?
cameraman said that's what they mean when they talk about a monster under the bed. Okay. It said
That's
after...
one of those that you think of a better line after you've pressed send. And then, oh.
It said after defecating in the middle of the floor...
Oh.
I'm sorry. There's no easy way of saying it. That's what he did.
I think that was the easiest way of saying it.
So, I mean, to add to its crimes, it goes to the bathroom on the floor.
Yeah.
Okay?
Well, it is,
It's like
to be fair,
no, but
a
that's what a
dragon.
burglar does.
Yeah, they're not house trained typically, are they?
No.
Well,
Ironically,
The
for the
dragon-
Komodo dragon.
after defecating, I'm sorry to say that again, in the middle of the floor, the dragon simply wandered out of the front door and walked off into the undergrowth.
Well, I mean, how do you even get close to the monsters?
Well, you're suggesting they've got... they're avoidant. They've got intimacy issues.
Well, I mean, they'll bite your leg muscles out, and then the whole thing starts. So you
They
know.
prefer pigs and goats, but they will eat a human.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go. Lovely.
They're not fussy. That's the bottom line on the KDs. Anyway, what else?
Well, we've been talking about pranks this morning, Frank. And
We haven't.
I want
We
to...
have that person
We
just
have all morning.
Okay. Sorry, that was a prank.
I know. Hashtag prankster. I want to talk about, I think, quite a high-level prank, which was committed, if a prank can be committed, by Keith Wright, a NASA engineer
Oh, yeah.
who was working at the Kennedy Space Center in 1969. Now, I don't know if you remember, but a pretty big event
He
happened
does
that
sound
year.
like one
Yes.
of the NASA boffins, doesn't he?
This is when I told you, Sir David Frost I met at a Liza Minnelli gig, and he said to me, your son's called Buzz, isn't he, after Buzz Aldrin? And I said, yeah, that's right. He said, of course, I presented the moon landing. I thought, that's it. fair play. Credit where credit's due.
Yeah, got to give him that.
He said to me that was one of the few simultaneous events where, you know, it's on ITV and BBC.
Oh, yeah.
Where ITV won.
Oh.
He said they had a sort of a punchy, you know, panel and
Right.
features and stuff, whereas the BBC
Dickie Davis.
had just a long, drawn out.
Oh.
Anyway,
So, this character,
Keith Wright.
Keith Wright, don't get a lot of Keiths. I'm gonna
Not these days.
Well,
Keith.
I was going to say we have a member of the family,
Let's not
extended
forget that.
family, our Keith. Let's call this man our Keith because, in a way, he was representing Britain. Because
can I stop you on this story?
Sure.
So we've got Keith Wright. He's working at NASA in '69.
Yeah.
The year of the moon landing.
Yeah.
And it's just that the Fez has arrived. But we're back with Keith Wright after this.
Frank Skinner on
Absolute Radio.
What are you grinning at, Dean?
I think.
I was sniggering because Barry Smith got in touch, and it was just, you know, when there's a sort of implied.
He's not claiming Barry Island.
No.
Okay.
But you know when there's an implied tone in a communique?
Yes.
And he said, who on earth thought it was Kimono?
Well,
Yeah. You know my view.
Frank Skinner.
You know my view that text should have stage direction so you
Yes.
can know exactly what's going on. So that would be with a haughty expression.
It was Frank Skinner who thought it
It was me.
Kimono.
But not only I'm on about. I thought that my whole life until Thursday.
Yeah.
So it's been a moment of revelation for me.
612 has texted, Sharon Stone's husband was bitten by a KD and needed surgery on his foot.
Are you
That
sure that wasn't Joe Pesci?
Great bit of showbiz gossip, isn't it?
Okay.
if someone said to you, you're going to have your foot bitten by a Komodo dragon, but you get to be married to Sharon Stone.
Strange
Fair
work
play.
Nostradamus
What would
is
you
doing
do?
at this.
Fair play.
I think that'd be a deal.
You got yourself a deal. Idea for a game show.
But Nostradamus was a bit like the personalised number plate, and he was always one or two digits off.
He was.
Yes,
One or
that's-
two letters off,
Well,
wasn't
he would say people help Nostradamus the way they help
Yeah.
their own personalised number
Yeah,
plate.
yeah.
So he'd say a robin landed on a wooden gate, and people would go, "There you go, Hitler."
Yeah.
And
Hister.
he was help. Yeah, he said Hister, didn't he?
He called him Hister. I mean, you know, come on.
Twisted Hister, I think he called him. And then when Twisted Sister, the band, came.
He had that.
Anyway,
Anyway, let's get back
We
to
were on a cliffhanger about
our
Keith Wright.
Keith. Yeah.
Righty.
Our Keith 2.0, which is Keith Wright of NASA. Formerly of NASA.
And Britain. He's a British chap that was working out there,
All right.
isn't he?
I imagine there's a few out there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if there's one thing Britain has contributed to in the history of time, it is boffins, the boffin community.
Yes.
Good at boffins out.
And the Germans, they're very good on the
They
boffins.
do well at the boffins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd say if you was to take I don't know if there is a sort of heat map of boffindom, but I'd say percentage-wise, I bet the English and the British rather and the Germans, I bet you they are into the high 60s percentage-wise. There you go.
Extraordinary
If anyone
claim.
knows the actual numbers on that,
Yeah, send us that
Yeah.
heat map if anybody's
there
got
might
it.
be a boffin.
It might be a boffin. If you're listening at home,
So, we need to tell them what he did, don't we, really?
Yes.
what he's done,
He's looked up.
He's looked up.
He's seen
He
the
did
moon.
look up probably if he's doing the moon landing.
Saw the moon, he thought.
he
Up
did
there.
something a little bit naughty. He doodled it's a union flag, we should say, not the Jack, because
No, because
on a-
we got
we
into-
have a thing on this show called The Big Moment, which is
Yes.
based on the fact that Big Mo
Yes.
is Gary Oldman's sister and people tell you as if that's a fabulous revelation, but
Yeah.
more or less everyone knows that. And I think the Union Jack Union flag, more or less.
Well, we dealt with it
everyone
on
knows.
this show one week, I seem to recall.
And also the fact that
years
the
ago.
Union flag can be upside down is another big moment. I'd say that everyone says. Do you know it can be upside down?
Yes. Well,
Okay.
our Keys 2.0...
I've got one more on
Okay,
this
go on.
subject. That the flag, the American flag on the moon, is wired because there's no
Yes.
wind on the
That's
moon.
right.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so there you go. All these things that everyone knows.
But
the moon.
what they didn't know was that our Keys 2.0 hashtag used to work at NASA, get over it. He said, we wanted to give Brits a bit of a credit, so I thought I'd draw a little Union flag sketched onto there being a solar panel owl, was it?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And he installed it on the experiment package, or whatever that is, and it went to the moon. So, a little bit naughty.
Yeah,
He's-
it's a tricky one to verify.
Well, you can see
Yes.
it. There's a picture, I think. There's a picture of it in the background. It's
On the
still
moon.
there, I think.
Yeah,
'cause,
with the
you know-
flag. You can see the flag, though.
You know, they litter, don't they?
You can't see the flag.
I
Well, isn't yeah.
it's circled in the article I saw.
The solar panels sit there to... Well, I've only seen the circle of the
If you
the thing
believe-
of the panel.
He drew a flag on the moon.
flag on the moon.
If you believe. Now, okay. Okay, we'll come back to.
I think he's a poster boy for the graffiti community. I mean, he got it to the moon. Some of them look happy with a high bridge.
that is true.
He's made Banksy look unambitious, if you ask me.
Yeah, he
Was there a
set the
policeman
bar
with
pretty high.
A balloon.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
So there is no picture of the
Well,
flag.
we've
There's a
had a
circled
steward's
picture of the
inquiry during that musical interlude, and Frank is saying there's no proof.
Look, I'm not saying. I mean, it'd be a rubbish lie. You know, I drew.
Oh, so
Union.
would I'm having a show with Gok Kwan
He said-
called Would
yeah,
You
that's a
Wear
good one.
That?
Wow, hold on. Did he announce this on April the 1st?
Ah.
Shut up. Could you get the
Hang
boffins on
though.
it, please?
Because if he was on the one show, then that's on the evening, so he can't be doing
3rd
it.
of April.
Isn't it afternoon that you're not meant
I
to?
think it was on the one show last night, wasn't it?
Right.
So
It was on the
you watch
3rd
it?
of April.
Oh, okay. Did you watch him on the one show?
No.
No, just read the article.
It's a shame.
It
Oh, I
is a
feel
shame.
like he's having it. Like he's telling
I'll
us
tell you
off.
what it reminded me of a bit was
Yeah.
in the Albion News, which
Yes.
is the programme of West Bromwich Albion, the official
Yes.
programme.
Mm-hmm.
You used to get pictures of people in West Brom shirts, like on top of Kilimanjaro
All right.
and
nice.
stuff like that. And it was like, I'm in Alcatraz prison in a West Brom shirt. Come on. And it's a bit. It comes from the same place. I know that's not. I'm not saying
Well-
no boffin would use that voice.
I agree.
Or go to Alcatraz. Well, maybe they would. I don't know. An
I
evil-
agree
evil
with
boffin.
Alan. It would be a very strange lie. However, there was famously the late designer and very brilliant designer Lee McQueen,
Well, yes, Alexander
who
McQueen.
you may know as Alexander
I
McQueen.
interviewed him and we spoke about the fact.
And what did he say, Frank? Tell
Well,
the story.
He was a bit. He was loath to say I definitely did it. But
Okay.
The theory was that when he made jackets for the Prince of Wales,
It was Anderson and Shepherd, the tailors, yeah.
he put
info.
some Class A swear words in the lining. He embroidered.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he wouldn't. When I asked him directly, he wouldn't quite fess up.
I
No.
think the Royals would be all right with that. I suspect they like a good swear, some of them.
Well,
That's my theory.
Can I say that's not the official policy of Absolute Radio?
Behind closed doors, I mean. You
Yeah.
know, when it's appropriate.
If only this boffin
God.
had a camera phone.
Yes.
But of course they didn't exist then.
I mean,
Which is mind-blowing, isn't it?
do you think he's telling the truth?
Oh, you might as well be.
You ran out of steam a bit.
Well, Mike Pence said this week, Mike Pence,
Yeah.
even more frightening than the president's assistant
What did
president.
Mike Pence say? I'd give a penny for his thoughts.
He said
Would you give two?
he said
Okay.
that they are keen to restart the moon program.
Splendid.
So we might. What about if they went up and checked it out? It's a lie. I felt if they do, I bet when he read that Mike Pence thing, I bet he thought, oh no, they're on to me. Was he interviewed by Carol Vorderman, by the way?
Yes.
Yes, he was. Oh, Keith. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why? Why you pulled a bit of what I'm going to call a bit of a face.
Did you see the other Carol Vorderman moon space-based story this week?
No.
Vorders,
Yes.
who used to be my neighbour, if you
She did.
remember.
You had an apartment, was it then?
I had I had the
Which one?
penthouse apartment, and she also had a
best one.
penthouse apartment. We overlooked, and
It was
said,
the perfect start to a 90s sitcom, that.
Yes.
because she said to me, "Yes, I've noticed you've got a telescope."
She never.
Yeah.
Well, Kath and I used to use that.
Meaning,
Accused.
yeah. But anyway, she tweeted a photograph this week, and it was. She said a body of mine is an astronaut. Well, apparently she went out with an astronaut for a while. Didn't work out. And she gave him a photograph of herself, and he took a photo of the photograph sort of on the windowsill of some sort of spacecraft space station.
No.
So you've got planet Earth in the background through the window, and then a picture of Carol.
Carol Vaughan.
Wowee.
But best thing about this is that the picture of Carol Vorderman, she's in a bikini, and this is the detail that really appeals to me. The picture is from 12 years ago. And my first thought, if someone was going to take a picture of me in space, I'd send them a current
Yeah.
shot. But you know when you get a picture of yourself you really like?
Oh, it's like the
Yes.
journalist byline photo.
Exactly,
The
so-
Julie Birchall one, black and white, 1972.
So she is stuck with. I mean, God bless her for that. And I actually wrote down what she says on Twitter. She said, "Here's a picture of me in actual space with the actual Earth behind."
Right.
Wow.
She missed an opportunity to say that she thought she looked out of this world, didn't she?
I think one of the comments from one of her fans. People say
It was
things
me.
like,
All right, I'll fess up.
her fans are of a certain age. I mean, don't get me wrong. I
So
think
am I.
she looks amazing, Carol Vorderman. But it's so complicated, the modern feminism. Is it all right, the bikini picture from 12 years?
Well, it's not really.
I blame that Madonna. But anyway, God bless her. And there's an element, I thought, of showing the ex-boyfriend astronaut what he's missing, as they always say in the papers.
One from the top, two from the bottom.
Yeah, so what he's missing is Carol Vorderman and Earth. But you said I think about one from the top, one from the bottom.
Yeah. That was her
The
shtick for a
Daily
while.
Mail still, you know, when they have things like, if they did a thing about who's name a pop star.
Britney Spears.
Yeah, if they do they'd call her the "Hit Me One More Time" songstress. That's
Okay,
how they
I've got
describe-
Madonna. Yeah, the Material Girl flew into London
right.
this week.
They
right.
they still, and this is twice in an article I read this week. They still call Carol Vorderman the Countdown Queen.
Oh.
Wow.
Now, when was she last on Countdown?
Oh.
Unless she's got a new job at NASA.
Oh.
Through her contacts, numbers be perfect for that.
Yeah, should be good at that.
5.
Yes, that is how she talks.
That is how she talks.
Stingray. And that's Thunderbirds.
She also said, well, we'll come back to this, but
Okay.
she's a fascinating personality.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
There was an interesting quote as well from Carol Vorderman. I dug deep into Vordermania.
Oh, yeah.
She'd been accused of having what I believe is called a buttock implant. I think they come in pairs. Be weird to just have one. And she denied it and
An
said,
enhancement.
yeah, and she said that my family are all sticky out bottom people.
Oh.
Yes.
That's,
Mine too, actually.
yeah, it's an
I mean, they're no
interesting-
longer here to prove that theory, unfortunately. We have to take my word for it.
Yeah, well,
But we
believe
have
you.
the... I used to get told when I did ballet, stick your bottom in, I say I am. It was awful. So,
in a tutu, you think that'd cover a multitude?
not in my
Well,
case, my friend.
I think
What,
so.
you maybe you needed a 4-4. Well, speaking of 4-4, which obviously takes us back to Lord Haw-Haw.
I'm sure I went to school with a boy called that, yeah.
Lord, you know what? I've been talking recently about the well-known right-wing 1940s radio broadcaster Lord Haw-Haw.
Of course you have.
Oh, yeah, it was that very
We all know
relatable
that.
section we did. in the
Yeah. Also, on my rambling reading this week, I came across a fabulous piece of info, which you might know actually, Emily, but I had no idea about this. After the war.
How dare you?
Let me qualify that. Sir Oswald Mosley,
Yes.
who was
It's getting worse.
a leader of the British fascistos,
Yes.
he was continuing. Apparently, he continued his work after World War II. I'd have thought the whole shop would have been closed down
Right.
with all that. But he was causing trouble here and there, and so a group
Like the Spencer.
set itself up and of street fighters to anti-fascist street fighters
Right.
Right.
to attack the black shirts.
Black shirts.
And one of the leading figures who used to be out there in the streets fighting,
Street fighting.
I mean a proper street fighting man,
Uh-huh.
taking on the fascists, was
Who? I don't know.
Vidal Sassoon.
You are joking.
I mean, who knew?
Vidal?
Vidal Sassoon as an anti-fascist street
Vidal
fighter.
Wowee.
grew up in the East End, I believe, famously, didn't
Well,
he?
did he? I didn't know that.
Did he?
Very, very humble beginnings, and I suspect had a strong social conscience.
Yeah, well,
Right.
clearly so.
And then he made shampoo and conditioner. But that's
Well, you know that.
extraordinary.
I had
Such a well-trodden path, that, isn't it? From
told
street
you about
violence
We've all
to
done it, Al.
shampoo
We've
maker.
all done it.
It's almost like a cliche, like boxing, getting people out of poverty. And it's such a
1 minute
well-trodden
social
path.
justice
But you
warrior.
remember
the
my,
next, take 2 bottles into the shower.
I used to do that in the 80s.
Let that sit for a bit.
It's
It
the
was
only place
great gag.
only place I dare drink. But listen, I didn't want to get it on the
Just-
carpet.
I like you actually laugh at someone's joke. I banged my knuckles.
I'm going to get this in. Yes, do you remember when I told this when John Lennon died? I was so upset. I took the
Oh,
day off.
no.
I took the day off Polytechnic
Yes.
and went to get drunk at the pub. And a very strange man who used to go in the pub came over to me and said, "What are you doing in here at this hour of the day?" So he spoke like that all the time. Which is honestly, he wasn't Scottish. No, he was. And I said, "Oh, well, one of my heroes died today." He said, "Yes, and do you know he was one of the 12 best fencers in Europe?" I said, "Was he?" Turned out he thought when I said one of my heroes that I was referring to Sir Oswald Mosley, who had died shortly before. Oh, so I hate to see ourselves as others see us.
Frank Skinner.
Absolute Radio.
Frank, hi.
Yes.
Hi.
We've had...
Late in the show to say hello to each other, but we'll go with it.
that's all. No, we've had a text from Jason F. Chef.
Jason F. Chef. Okay.
Lovely personal number plate. That could be.
Yeah.
He says that he'd been listening to an old podcast.
Maybe you think he's an F chef. It's like something like maybe he does the philo pastry or something like
Perhaps
be
it's
a-
just not as good as the others.
Or he might be a Gordon Ramsay type, if you know what I mean.
that.
Oh,
I quite like it.
Potty mouth.
Oh, yeah, he's an F chef if ever there was one.
indeed.
Hey?
He's been listening to an old podcast of ours.
See?
Surprise. Sounds a bit
Lads.
surprised. You've got to get the
Is he in
punters
prison?
Was,
I mean, I imagine chefs
We
are
do very
busy.
well in the prison community, Emily. Come on, Em.
who else says that? If someone says, "Oh, I listen to your radio show," are you in prison?
No, an old one, though.
An old
when,
lad.
Maybe when he's standing out by the bins having a smoke in his black Crocs.
The Komodos will be coming to scavenge.
Yeah.
What's he said?
He said this. I was surprised to hear that Frank, like myself, has anchovies on pizza. I thought I was alone in that club.
Well, I can tell you, we are not alone, F Chef, because is his name F
Yeah,
Chef?
Jason F. Chef.
Oh, Jason. Sorry, we're not alone, Jace.
JFC.
Jace, because my view has always been that a pizza without anchovies isn't actually a pizza. I don't think that counts. If I have something like an American hot, those
yes.
were the days. Then I will say, and
Good
can I have
heavens.
a portion of anchovies on? So I'll have
you?
I'll have anchovies on an Hawaiian.
You will not.
I will.
Oh,
Sweet and sour.
Again, those were the days.
kudos to you. I did not know that you were that anchovy
Yeah,
led
but
on a
weird
pizza.
thing
Do you
is,
like them now?
I
I
was.
but I don't order extra on an American hot like this
Okay,
legend over here.
let's hear the witness out.
So I was watching. What's it called? It's like The Simpsons, but it's set in the future.
Futurama.
Yes, Futurama. I was halfway there. I was watching Futurama, and they get a pizza from the past, in other words, from our time.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I know it isn't a pizza; it's a tin of anchovies in an auction. And this guy
okay.
says, the main guy says, "I'm going to buy that because I don't think a pizza qualifies as a pizza if it doesn't have And I thought, what a place to find a kindred spirit on a random episode of Futurama. And now it turns out that Jason F. Chef is joining quite
one
an
of you.
exclusive club, that we are the gang of three.
Your gang.
Yeah.
Well, I won't be in your club.
Here's
Join it.
Here's a question. Are they, I've always thought they are amongst the saltiest things on
It's
Earth.
saltier than Absolute
Olives.
Radio's lobby.
Saltier than the sea.
Saltier than
They are
your
a
late
bit
father's
saltier than the
pocket.
sea.
Are they healthy salt? Because
Yeah.
they're not. Are they?
I don't know.
Oh.
Do you know what? I trust Alan with food.
Just swinging for it. I don't know.
I don't trust us. I think we're a bit more of the Vimto and crumpets variety.
Yum.
We've got to rethink the salt
I
thing.
mean,
now
I ate
this
1.5 calzone folded pizzas on Sunday
For
Mother's
me-
Day.
I'd see
week.
you
For
out.
me,
If
all pizzas are folded.
Frank, if there was we were suddenly thrust into a dystopian future,
Yeah.
I would send Alan out to do the foraging.
Would you?
I just think he'd bring back the right food. I wouldn't. You'd get lost.
Be a bit of a mystery.
I'd have I'd get hysterical and have a breakdown. And shout at
I
someone.
would think there was a Komodo dragon around every corner.
You wouldn't go near the bins. Talking of
I can't forage with my back.
Mark Connolly
Tell a
has been
rule.
in touch to say the Wallaby Island on Loch Lomond is true. It's called Inchconachnan. Can you tell me how to
I
pronounce
thought it was called Wallaby Island.
It's called. They've put hashtag Inchconachnan. Can you tell me how to pronounce that? Because you're from Scottish.
On the
Inchconachnan.
spot?
Okay.
Inchconachan.
Oh,
I don't
lovely.
know. I
Did
got that.
it?
I probably got that
Pulled
wrong.
it off.
We don't know.
Okay.
I just think there was a in it.
Also
Yes,
relevant to the
Yes.
the story.
We
the
will
chat
have to
we've just
end
been having.
eventually. This
He's gonna
show.
do
What
it.
about the famous island of Sardinia, named after the fish?
Yes.
Who knew?
Yeah.
Okay.
Very overpopulated, that island. Honestly,
up.
they're shoulder to shoulder, the citizens.
Bijou.
So, look, thank you so much for listening this morning. And if the good Lord spares us and the creeks don't rise, we'll be back again this time next week. Now, get out.